What are the biggest mistakes you see post-diet? Good question. Very fitting, I think, for this time of year, as well as we are now coming into the Christmas period, into the winter period. People are kind of finishing their dieting phases, finishing up their fat loss phases, more kind of concerned about, going out for meals with friends, kind of shifting their focus on the performance in the gym, and not really concerned about taking their tops off on the beach or any of that kind of crack that comes with the sun that has now gone. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to run you through the top 3 or 4 biggest mistakes that I see post-diet, post-fat loss phase, whatever you want to call it. Number 1 is going to be not setting a new goal. Okay, and I think this might be the most important of them all. If you don't set yourself a new goal post-diet, you feel lost. You don't know where you're going. Okay, you need to kind of shift your focus. What I do with my guys is shift their focus from, say, body compositional goals, from seeing the scales go down, to performance-based goals. Okay, so that's what I call gaining phases, performance phases, because we're now shifting our focus from looking lean and trying to get abs to hitting PBs in the gym, lifting more weights, or heavier weights, should I say, for more reps or more sets. And really just shifting the value factor. We no longer value getting lean or having abs. We value what we can perform in the gym and how high a level we can perform in the gym with this new increase of food. Post-diet phase, obviously. And the second, you don't set yourself a new goal, it's very easy to become non-adherent. You don't know where you're going and you just go completely off plan. Secondly is going to be dropping out cardio completely. Okay, well, at least to begin with anyway. I do feel as though a certain level of cardio should be held throughout your gaining phase, or throughout your improvement phase, throughout your performance phase, whatever kind of term you want to put on the whole increase of calories. But what people do is they add in a load of calories to take out their cardio, and all of a sudden their expenditure has gone completely down, their energy in has spiked, and they just end up putting on an unnecessary amount of body fat, body weight, and end up with a look that just you don't like. Okay, so keep a level of cardio in there, definitely to begin with. Yes, you titrate it down over time. Okay, so there's no need for you to still be doing an hour's cardio after every session, but still keep a baseline level of cardio. For me, I keep that in throughout the gaining phase, throughout your performance phase, as I feel as though, first of all, obviously it works the 2 most important muscles in the body, your heart and your lungs. You want to keep them taking over. But secondly, if you have a good baseline level of cardiovascular fitness, it's going to allow you to kind of bring it there, shall we say, with your higher rep sets. Okay, so with your 12 to 15, your 15 to 20s, if you are able to kind of not be huffing and puffing and kind of dragging yourself away through them sets, you will just get a much more better outcome. Thirdly is going to be your diet setup, okay, and the way your new diet is going to be set up as you transition out of this dieting phase and into maybe maintenance or into, say, a caloric surplus. What you need to do is you need to set up your diet around foods that you've missed, okay, foods that you crave. Okay, so obviously, if depending on how severe your diet was and how much in the depths of a diet you were, high possibility that you had to cut out foods that you enjoy. So your new kind of diet setup should be set up around these foods. Okay, so you should allow yourself to have a meal every week that you enjoy, or maybe something small every day to stop you from going out and binging on that food. Because I've done posting this in the past. Once you tell yourself that you can't have something, once you tell yourself that a certain food is not allowed, it just makes you want it more. But if you can give yourself a little small bit of it every day, satisfy them cravings, you can continue and you can push on with it. With that, no certain food group is going to be the devil. Okay, it's going to be the overconsumption of food is the devil. Overconsumption of calories is going to be the devil. The danger is within the dose. Okay, so you can have a square of chocolate or a bar of chocolate, but if you kind of have a bar of chocolate and tell yourself that you can't have another bar of chocolate ever, you're going to want to eat 10 bars of chocolate. But if you go in and you have yourself half a bar of chocolate, you're full, and then you leave the other half for tomorrow because you can have it tomorrow because you can fit it into your calories, or if you leave it for next week or whatever it is, you're not going to end up binging. It's not going to result in a binge, and you're just going to be able to enjoy the food for what it is and push on. Now, 4th point, and probably equally as important as the first one in my opinion, is going to be post-diet is not the time to leave your coach. Okay, when you are coming out of a diet, you are in a pretty sensitive position, a pretty fragile position, so we say. Okay, depending on how lean you get as well. Obviously, the leaner you get and the more depths of a diet you go into, the more unhealthy it is, I suppose is a good way of putting it, unsustainable. You need to, a good rule of thumb, what I do is someone diets hard for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you spend 8 weeks, 10 weeks bringing them back the other way, okay, and putting them back into a sustainable position. I've heard too many horror stories of people going to certain coaches and dieted hard for 8 weeks on a meal plan, and now they do a photo shoot, whatever it is, and then they're left. They don't know what's going on, and they're not told what calories to eat, what macros to eat, and it just results in binge eating, being afraid to eat, like terrible relationship with food. So what you need to do post diet is you need to bring yourself back up to a position that is sustainable, that is healthy, that you can sustain throughout, especially going into the Christmas period when, look, tendency to binge is going to be high. There's going to be lots of temptations around you, and if you are leaner, that tendency to binge isn't even going to be much higher than it would for anyone else. So for example, I have a client doing a photo shoot at the moment. It was actually pretty last minute, okay, so we have an 8-week prep. We're still like 7 weeks out, but I only took him on the basis that, yes, we diet hard for 8-10 weeks, but you must stay with me for 8-10 weeks after, so I can actually sustainably and healthily bring you back to a good position that you can kind of push on from. When you are in the depths of a diet, as I said, you are extremely fragile, you're extremely sensitive, and it's just not really the best place to be. You want to build yourself back up, bring yourself back to maintenance, and make sure that you shift your focus onto performance, and make sure your relationship with food is intact, because that's obviously going to be a big one, especially again leading into Christmas, leading into winter. You want to have a good relationship with food. You want people to enjoy food. You want people to enjoy Christmas dinner, all the meals out over Christmas with your friends and your family. And I've seen it a million times, okay? Someone comes to you, or someone finishes up with you, should I say, after they achieve a certain result, and then they say, okay, right, you after getting me lean, I have six pack, I have abs, I'm going to go off my own now, I think I can do it. 2-3 weeks later, they're knocking on your door, they're bloated as hell, okay, they're like 5 kilos up, they're in nearly a worse position in the world when they started a diet, and they don't know what's wrong, and you're kind of trying to tell them, look, I told you this was going to happen, we need to spend time building, I suppose, laying the foundations, okay, put the building blocks in place that you can now go off and push on and enjoy your improvement phase, your gaining phase. But until we have them initial, I suppose, foundations laid, you need to spend time building them. You can't, when you're lean, decide to turn around and go straight into a gaining phase, balls to the wall. You need to spend time laying the foundations and bring yourself back to a healthy position, okay, into a sustainable position. And your coach should do that for you. So yeah, that's my top 3, 4, 5 tips, whatever it was, on post diet. Hopefully it helps. If you have any questions about anything, obviously just let me know. Hit me up in the DMs, and peace.